What's this? Tabletop Island, huh? Let's see what this is all about.
Bro, how are we gonna get out of this? My guess is as good as yours, bro. But look at that Yeti. It looks crazy. Yeah, his eyes are looking wild. Oh, no. Now I got a goat hanging on a bird, hanging on a snake, hanging on me. Oh yeah? Well, I got a snake hanging on a goat, hanging on a bird, hanging on me. I'm losing grip. I can't hang on much longer. No! Now I got a Yeti hanging on a snake, hanging on a goat, hanging on a bird, hanging on me. Help!
Welcome to Tabletop Island. I'm Bernardo, your host, and today we're going to be talking about the vintage board game. Rock Jock by Milton and Bradley actually came out in 1994. I'm not a big fan of two-player games, but this one is really unique. Let's first start off by saying on the table it looks amazing. The rock mountain, the cliff, it just looks so well designed. And one of the things I really enjoy is when you're building the mountain, there are these lock joints. That means when 2 points meet together, there's a little gap there where a mushroom-shaped piece goes in to lock the joint in place. I don't see this very often, if at all, and I think it's a fantastic way to kind of create that sturdiness of the board, especially when things are going to be hanging from it. Now, first, while you build the entire cliff, you have the goats at the bottom, you have your little birds dangling from the sides of the lower floor, then in the middle floor you have these snakes, and then there is that stick that pops up to the top layer, where then you will end up hanging the Yeti, which I think is so ridiculous, the idea behind this. So you have this entire piece set up, and then on top you have these little men who are dangling, and their arms are almost like those really old silly hands that you would see in vending machines way back in the day. I believe you still see them now, but they're not as popular as they were back then. So if you ever need to replace it, I'm sure you can get the bulk online. I seem to have one that works really well, and it's the original, so I don't see it needing to be changed very often, if at all, if you take care of it. Now, how the game itself plays. You have your men dangling from the top. Now, at the bottom of the cliff, you have these rock chips, which are tiles that you start with 3. Each player will start with 3, and you play one, you draw a new one. And you're keeping them a secret because some of them allow you to play on your opponents, which are the regular ones, and the other ones make it so you hang them on you, on your character. So it's kind of, they're trying to go for a little bit of a strategic element for it. Again, it's a dexterity game, so I'd take that with a grain of salt, but the game is super unique. In fact, there is, I believe, either 1 or 2 chips that say trade hands. So you can play it, trade hands, and if you know that you have ones that specifically dangle it on your man, you can give it to them and they can dangle it on theirs. Then there is the lose grip chip, and that one kind of makes things really hard to win once you play a card like that or a chip like that. That makes it so you detach one of the hands of one of your men, and that makes this really hard to play. And by your men, whoever plays it chooses their opponents, obviously. And then finally you have the chip with the Yeti, which moves him up for his first point, second point, third point onto the stick, and then finally in his last point, once he's there, if you play anything else as a Yeti, then you dangle them on the opposing opponent's pawn, and it is very heavy. Actually, that can be a game decider based on the weight of the Yeti. Now, how the game kind of progresses. The person that ends up detaching and falling has to put a rock in their backpack. Those are the little rocks that are at the top of the cliff. Those rocks kind of make it so the weight of your character starts off a little bit heavier. And obviously, if one character ends up with 3 rocks, the game ends, they're the loser, and the person with the fewer rocks wins. And the game itself is extremely simple. There isn't a lot going on for it. And while it seems like they're trying to do a little bit of strategic elements to it, they're not really all the way there because it's still random. And sometimes your guy can just stretch more with some kind of creatures hanging from it, and others kind of rip off almost immediately. And I've seen this happen a few times. It doesn't happen all the time. Obviously, you want to make sure the hands are secure at the top, but you can't always control that. Honestly, the game itself is that straightforward. There isn't much else to it. It's a really unique looking dexterity game, but do I think it's something you need to add to your collection? I would say no. You can pass on it if you find a good deal on it, or you find it at like a thrift shop and it sounds like the game for you, then go right ahead. It's very cheap. I believe I picked this game up for $10. So I didn't spend a lot of money on it, and I'm sure that it wouldn't cost you a lot of money to obtain, but I think there are a lot more dexterity games from that time period that were a lot better. I just think this one is hilarious and really unique and looks amazing on the table, and obviously fun for the whole family. And I just taught it to you just now, so it's very easy to teach, but I don't think it's something that you should go out of your way to have, because there isn't enough of a game here. But again, if you're interested in this kind of game, take a look on eBay. You'll find a solid deal. Maybe check out your local thrift shops. But that is honestly all I have for you guys today. If you are interested in notifications, there is a bell up there somewhere. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I do appreciate any feedback. I'm trying to make these videos more and more outrageous, and with your guys' help, I have been doing so. Monday, regular board game reviews. Wednesday, weekly update / talks. And then on Friday is my vintage board game reviews. That is all I have for you guys today. I will see you guys next time.